Hi, it's Dr. Taylor Burrows. If you want to check out my website, it's drtaylorburrows.com. I wanted to talk today about how to develop yourself as a person just on your own. A lot of times people feel like they're stuck in a rut and they don't know quite how to find themselves, right? This sort of cliche of young women or young men gallivanting off into the sunset, wanderlusting at 22 years old and trying to find themselves, this sort of elusive event that may span 10 years or so. So other than traveling is actually a really good way to develop yourself. There are some other ways too that you can learn about yourself and grow. So in regards to travel, you definitely don't want it to be about escaping. It should be about discovering new cultures, learning about other ways of being, experiencing just different ways of life, and really absorbing like a sponge and appreciating the opportunity that you have to see all the art and the architecture in the museums and meet the people, eat the food, listen to the music, see the sights. And that is just a remarkable experience, and especially because you can be alone, you can be with people. You learn a lot through the experience with other people about relationships. You learn a lot about yourself on your own, your capacities, your ability to troubleshoot and problem solve and make decisions. And you kind of learn your default mode of operation, right? Like, what do you like to do in an unfamiliar circumstance when you're out of the comfort zone, you don't have all the conveniences of home, and nobody is telling you what to do? What do you do? So that would be your default, and you kind of learn, okay, well, maybe my sleep patterns aren't quite normal, or maybe I am not that adventurous. Maybe I do like to relax a little bit more, laze about, or maybe I am really adventurous and I'm just hungry for lots of stimuli. And that's great. Whatever it is, if it's true to you, then you're learning about yourself. And another way to be able to learn about yourself is just through creating some concentrated alone time in general. So you don't have to travel. You can just make sure that you have an opportunity. If you live at home with your parents, it can be difficult. So you want to be able to go wander in the park, go to the beach, do things like you can go to the zoo, go to the museums all by yourself, and not have to have a friend along. A lot of people feel like, oh, I can't do it because nobody wants to go with me. So what? And you don't have to just go to bars and restaurants. You can pick novel things to do. Just look up a community calendar in your local area and decide, hey, I'm gonna do one thing a month at least that's new and novel that I get to try on my own. And especially if it's like an activity or a skill like ceramics or archery or anything that you don't know how to do, you can explore and determine if you like it, if you're good at it. How exciting is that? I mean, you can also do self-study to actually acquire new skills just for the sake of it, to round yourself out, like learning a language or something like that. Those are things that can really help you grow and develop as a person. Now, another thing is actually starting relationships. Now, that doesn't mean you want to jump into relationships just because you want to learn and grow. You want to make sure that you're vetting it appropriately and taking a fair, calculated risk into a healthy relationship, because you might not want to learn what you learn in an unhealthy or toxic relationship. So definitely know what to not get into, but do take a risk from time to time when the opportunity presents itself. Don't let fear cloud your judgment and keep you stuck. Let yourself try and determine, like, there's no outcome dependence, that you can just maybe have a short time. It doesn't have to be, a really short time, but it could be, a couple months of a relationship, and that could be wonderful and really, help you learn a lot about yourself. If you really think the person is worthwhile and good to experience life through their eyes alongside them, then what a wonderful thing to do. So don't be afraid to do that. And who knows, it could last and last and last, or not, and you stay good friends, or maybe you never speak to them again. So you don't quite know, but that's okay. But I bet you learn a lot about yourself through the way that you navigate intimate relationships. And intimacy in general is so important, just to develop an intelligence and just knowledge and wisdom about how women work, how men work, how you work in relationships, what works and what doesn't. I posted the other day that relationships can be like choosing an Airbnb, like this one, right? I mean, I kind of have my list of must-haves, and we should all know ourselves well enough, but I mean, I'm older than many of you, so even at a younger age, getting to know what your must-haves are. If you want to be close to nature and beauty, if you want to be accessible to a walking neighborhood, to a gym, have lots of cafes, have Ubers or some types of transportation that's easy for you, having a clean and tidy environment, one that has all the efficient devices or efficient amenities that you'd like, and go from there. And then each one's gonna have its own character, its own energy, and you discover which ones are the best fit for you, kind of like a relationship. So you don't go in necessarily assuming it's going to be quick and easy, but you go into it open-minded and you go into it learning. Curiosity has to be your leading mentality, right? In order for you to get something really great out of it. So then you clearly, as you mature and develop, you may start to settle on one particular thing that you really like, and moving about, figuratively or literally, is more of an inconvenience and regressive than anything. So that's how a lot of the times people learn and grow enough to decide on who's the right person for them, who is their ideal partner or an ideal partner, assuming there may be more, but why pass up this opportunity if everything lines up, right? Now, another way is through starting businesses. So having a 9-to-5 job or some kind of career track is one thing, but if you want to learn about yourself, try to start a business of your own. You learn so much being your own boss and being able to do everything. You're like a jack of all trades, doing technology, doing design, doing marketing, doing sales, doing the content, doing the back end and the front end and everything, all in between. It's a lot, the admin too, right? So if you have that responsibility, even on a small business that's relatively manageable, you really do learn patience and perseverance and and lots of different things, how to manage your money. Great experiences to have in order to develop those skills just to be a successful and thriving adult. And also for someone who wants to be an ideal partner for somebody else one day. But if you don't have, if you're not a self-employed person, but you want to start something up on the side, you can think about it that way. That's also an opportunity for you, and not just financial, but to actually grow and develop yourself as an individual and be able to enhance yourself through the skills that you're going to have to learn on your own, right? Learning through YouTube and networking through other businesses, like other freelancers or other entrepreneurs. Now also, I talked about being alone, but another thing is literally having children. But you don't want to have children just to be a better human being, but recognizing, and I don't have children, but recognizing that it is just that ultimate layer of learning about oneself when you submit completely to the service of another human being. Now, there's a little bit of that in regards to relationships. There's some of that in regards to caretaking for elderly parents or other family members, or even pets. You learn a lot about yourself through pets, but I'm not comparing children to pets. So there's different levels, and ultimately that's another way to learn a whole bunch about yourself and grow as an individual. You become hopefully a much better person. If you're ready for it, if you're not ready for it and you ready yourself for it, you will develop those advanced level empathy and patience and responsibility. All of those things can really help you along your path in self-development. So just to rehash, it would be the 5 major things that will help you grow and develop as an individual, learning a lot about yourself, is travel for the right reasons. It is relationships, healthy relationships, starting businesses, spending focused time alone, and those kinds of significant relationships that bring responsibility, ultimately like with children. So think about that and see which ones are realistic for you in your stage of life and where you're at, and check back in with me. Let me know how it goes. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button below, and please do leave a comment, like the video, and check out my website, and you can reach out to me and let me know if you'd be interested in a 15-minute discovery call to see if we'd be a good fit to work together. And we can do one-on-one coaching, or I do couples and family work as well. Ciao!